children of Israel were freed. They got their freedom. So, but they went to the desert. But even though they were free, they still lived like slaves.
Yes, that's true.
And so eventually, like, you have to get the slavery out of them.
Yeah.
How you think, how you talk, you have to get that out of you. And I think that's where Paul's getting so frustrated, is he says, you're free. Stop living like you're slaves, and you keep going back to those things. And the reality is because it's all they'd ever known. And that's what a lot of people, it's all they ever known is bondage. Wow. And when God sets you free, you're free indeed. And it's the reminder, it's the prayer every morning, that I am free. God, may I live today like I'm free.
What is going on, post-Sunday podcasters? I hope you guys are doing well. We are back. We are back with our online folks. IG, we're back online on Instagram. We've had a few weeks of just some technical issues, but we are back and rolling, man. I'm excited, man. Hope you guys, everyone's enjoying this season. It's been great to dive into the letters that built the church. I'm your host, Pastor Johnny Sierra. Looking forward to diving in episode 29. Listen, hell has frozen over. We, listen, Pastor Tim could pull out the boss card, but I pull out the little brother card. And I got my big bro with me here today. And I'm excited for that. He's saving me not only in this pod, but from the weather, the hellish weather that is outside, taking me places because my AC is out right now in my van. But he's my bro. And I've gotten the privilege of being with him for quite some time and just doing life together. It's been a blessing. But here, episode 29, Galatians 4, I got my man, none other than Pastor Chad Harper. What is up, bro?
What's up? How are you?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Yeah. I love it. I love putting you in this type of spot because I just feel like it gets you uncomfortable. And I like to see you. I like to see you uncomfortable a little bit.
What I do.
Yeah, this is good, man. I'm excited. Thank you for spending a few minutes with us. You're a busy man. You're doing a lot of things here at the church, especially Ignite. That's with the shirt you got on here today. Yeah. For those that are watching, there's a lot going on with Ignite. It's our outreach, sports and arts, and now going to be outdoors.
Get you into the woods, Johnny.
Oh my gosh, man! Me in the woods. It's like,
if I can do it,
it is not right rice and beans.
It is not me. The woods is not me. It is Grandstaff. I'm not a woods guy. But,
yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, so it's exciting, man. Everything that's happening at the church, man. Just the evolution. It's just fantastic, man. Who would have thought, right? What has it been? 6 years for you now?
Coming up on it.
Gosh.
Yeah,
man.
coming up September will be 6 years.
Yeah.
So looks a lot different than it did 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been a ride. Best is yet to come.
It's like
a lot going on.
It's been like I don't want to say like a rebirth for you, but like a jolt of life again.
Yeah, it's when you get to do something with your lifelong best friend.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted.
Yeah.
So when I came over, that was my mentor asked me 2 questions. What do you want to do? And I answered that. And so I love the role that I play. And then the second question, he said, if you could do it with anybody in the world, who would you want to do it with? And it took me 10 days to come to the realization I wanted to do it with Tim.
Yeah, so, man.
Made a phone call and God did the rest.
Got your boy.
That's my guy.
Let's go. It doesn't get any better than that, man.
Nope. So, I mean, I love you too. So.
Yeah, you love me. We're getting there.
You're my brother.
We're getting there.
I love
you two will be zipping margaritas one day at the beach. and Alexis and I and Kaden and Kobe will be holding
goal.
it down, and
That's
Will
the goal.
PJ.
One day we'll hand the baton to the next generation.
It's awesome, man. It's exciting. It's exciting to work alongside of you with everything that we get to do. You've been pretty busy up front, man. The year looks always. You get to bring a lot. You and Tim share the load when it comes to messages, and you've been up front here quite a few times this year already. Galatians 4, you talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what we'll dive a little bit into. I don't think it gets any simpler than what you talked about yesterday.
Yeah, it was. I told Tim, I said it was every once in a while you get to teach a message that's just natural, just easy. So I told him, when we were laying out the letters that we were going to go through. So, we're sitting in the office and, for those of you that don't know, Tim and I share an office, and so we're just sitting in the office and we start going through. And so, he's like, what about this book or what about this letter? And so we get to Galatians, and it was literally when it was Galatians 4, I'm like, man, that's just that's my sweet spot. So I love it. I think it's a simple but yet profound chapter.
Yeah.
So, and I'm a simple guy.
You are.
So it was easy for me yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was easy for me.
Yeah. I think for me, a message like yesterday, I would have made it complicated.
You like to complicate things a little bit, John. So,
you've told me that several times.
Things a little bit. I like to uncomplicate things. So,
and that's your biggest pet peeve, you've said.
Yeah, I just think taking something complex and making it simple.
Yeah.
And you do a great job. So I'm hard on you just because I love you, but you do a good job. You do a great job, and when you teach, and you get so excited, because you just haven't had a lot of opportunities, and so you get so excited. And so I'd love to hear how you would have unpacked it. To be honest with you,
yeah.
What would you have come up with for Galatians chapter 4? So flip the table a little bit, Johnny. Tell me how you would have preached that message, buddy.
It's super simple. I've gathered a few notes here just for our pod to talk a little bit through, but it is Paul's first letter, man. And so like anytime that you are like, I can relate. You see in Paul's verbiage, like there is just this animation, excitement, youth in his vocabulary, almost too pushy. That's kind of what you're getting out of him. And as ministry goes along, you start to see a little bit of a different side of Paul with age and wisdom and all that. But there's this Pentecostal in your face, like, get your lives straight. What are you doing, man? Like, why are you just screwing this all up? Why are you even letting people come in and just mess the entire thing up? And that's kind of what I see. I see somebody that's built something here in the Galatian region, and others are coming in and just bringing other ideas and concepts that are confusing the church and the body. And I mean, I think about us, how frustrated we get in ministry on a day-to-day when people, we sit with people and we feel like we're telling them the same thing over and over and over, but they're allowing outside voices to dominate. And so here we come back to regurgitate the same thing. It kind of has that feel to it, Galatians, a little bit.
Yeah, it's, he does a great job of just painting a visual picture. And I think for me with Galatians 4, especially what I kind of dove into yesterday is just the picture that he paints, it's the theology in the first 3 chapters, and now it's like, okay, personal, but you see there is an energy, there's an excitement, but there's also, I think it's rooted in a frustration,
big time.
So I think, Paul was, to me, he was saved so radically that it was something that he just devoted his life to, and he just can't understand why they're complicating it,
Yeah, big time.
And so why are you trying to do something? Do you not understand? Do you not get it?
Yeah.
So when I kind of read that, that's what I gather is like guys, even he starts the letter with, I am astonished. I'd have to, Google how many times astonished was in the Bible, but it's not a word that they, not a word they use. I don't know the Greek word. I'm sure if you were preaching, you would have Googled that. But yeah, I mean, to me, it's like, that's just, he's like shocked. Like, why are you complicating something that's meant to be so simple? And not just simple, but freeing, And so it's the cloud of doubt of, have I done enough? Will I do enough? Do I believe enough? And he's like, man, you can undo all the cloud of doubt when you realize it's nothing you've done. It's all in who you know.
Yeah.
And so, it's an easy thing to comprehend when you strip it all away. But where the people were at that time, he was having to relate all those things. And that's why he used such a visual picture with the adoption and with everything like that. I mean, he was speaking to them in a way that it was like, there could be no other way. So, and I think that's when he uses those illustrations, that's what he's doing, is he's saying there's no other thing.
Yes.
That's why he ties it together.
Yes.
Roman adoption.
Yes.
I mean, when people were adopted in Rome, as soon as the papers were signed, full inheritance.
Yes.
There was no waiting period. And so when he's talking about that, he's talking to them and they understand adoption.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That language.
Yeah, they understand that.
Yeah.
And they understand the full rights, full inheritance, and heir. They used to have, I think, these things, they were called like tutors. And it was a season where it would be preparing you and teaching you for the inheritance. And, he says the law was like the tutor, and then, and this, and so it's and he's speaking it in a way where there can be no doubt. And that's why I think he's shocked.
Yeah.
Because he's not speaking in code. He's literally speaking in concrete truth, but yet they still want to add. So.
Yeah. And PJ and I talked a little bit yesterday, but he's bringing in different references, even Abraham. They understand the story. That's a big thing for them. And so he's bringing context that they understand, language that they understand, stories that they understand, whatever it takes, right, to help them understand this. What blew my mind is what I really liked about this too is hey, listen, man, you guys have been you've been liberated from idol worship. You are understanding the gospel, but you're still putting bondage on yourself by tying yourself to religious duties. Bondage is bondage, whether it's in idolatry practices or if it's in religious practices. Bondage is bondage. And Paul is saying, listen, you've been free from all that. So stop trying to put bondages upon yourself by having to meet these different requirements in order to feel like you are legitimate a son and daughter of God.
Yeah, he talks slavery.
Yeah.
And the people knew and understood that very, very well. And so that's why he says redeemed, whereas a redemption is where you are bought back, bought. It's not just forgiven.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just the debt has been, the debt is forgiven. It's I've been bought back. And redeem and redemption, that's what Paul's explaining and trying to get the people to understand is you are no longer.
Yeah.
My first service yesterday was after my first service, I always get feedback. I love feedback, both good and bad. And so I took PJ in the back, and obviously with Tim being gone, Tim normally is my sounding board. So because just the way Tim thinks, so we think so similar, but he's just so much smarter than I am in seeing things. And so, but PJ's very same way, very intellectual guy. And my wife tells me that I should stop saying I'm not smart, but I'm not being derogatory. I'm just saying that's not my strength, right? And so, but I told PJ, and I had my first, when I was explaining the passage, right, at the 1-5, it was caught like captives. So it was, we are slaves, or we are children caught like captives. And PJ said, no, that's not, he said, you got to change it to born into slavery. And the reason we did that is because, in the way that PJ explained that to me, and I made the adjustment in between the services, it says the same thing, right? But to understand that you were born into slavery, it's all you ever knew. It's all that there ever was. And there was nothing you could have done to not been born into slavery. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So sometimes when you think captives, it's oh, I was free and then I got caught. and born into slavery is this is how I was.
Yeah.
But this is not what God designed for me. And that's where the redemption comes in, because now I was born into this, but I've been purchased with a price to come out of that. And that's the redemption story.
Yeah, I have a new identity.
It's a completely new identity.
Yeah.
So a lot of, easy things to talk about, easy things to do. So people live their whole life bound, and I had Dan Allen, I think he's been on the podcast, right? Dan,
he was.
So Dan, I texted him and I said, hey, what can I adjust? And I think that was after the first service as well. And, and he said, he gave me the illustration I used in the second service as far as people decorating their prison cells, and he says, don't decorate your prison cell.
Wow.
And a lot of people decorate it because they feel like, I'm just going to be here. This is just the life I've lived.
Wow.
This is just who I am. And so a lot of times you reside yourself to, this is my life. And it's like, but that's not how you were called to live. That's not what God wants for you.
Wow. Yeah.
And so he said, but a lot of times people just, they try to get free in so many different ways, and they fail because there's only one thing that sets you free. And so because they fail so often, they just start to decorate their prison cell.
Wow.
And so great example.
Yeah.
It resonated with me. So that's why.
No, that's good, man. I like Galatians 4:9. He says, but now that you know God, or rather are known by God, I like that. He correcting himself a little bit there. How is that you are turning back to those weak and miserable forces? And he's just, again, warning them about legalism. He's just baffled. He's concerned that they keep turning back to these religious systems over time and allowing this to cloud, again, going back to their prison cell.
Well, it's, when you talk about Exodus, right? So, and the children of Israel coming out, right? Something these people knew very well. It's the history they knew very well. And, I've often heard, that when the children of Israel were freed, they got their freedom. So, but they went to the desert, but even though they were free, they still lived like slaves.
Yes, true.
And so eventually, like, you have to get the slavery out of them.
Yeah.
How you think, how you talk, what you have to get that out of you. And I think that's where Paul's getting so frustrated, is he says, you're free. Stop living like you're slaves, and you keep going back to those things. And the reality is because it's all they'd ever known. And that's what a lot of people, it's all they ever known is bondage,
Wow.
And when God sets you free, you're free indeed. And it's the reminder, it's the prayer every morning, that I am free. God, may I live today like I'm free.
Yeah.
May I not be held captive by things that have no more rule over me.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah.
And so, that's, I think, Paul's frustration in that.
Yeah. And those that, are watching or listening, I mean, I kind of hold that question to you guys too. Like, what old habits, what thought patterns, what things do you keep returning to, relationships that are not edifying you, that are not bringing life to you, and helping you walk in that identity of Christ. And that's something that you have to sit and really evaluate through, especially for the person that, man, just, again, keeps going to the prison cell. There's something you're being drawn to. There's something that there's a crack in the wall, a leak that's coming in that you have to look through and say, man, I have to patch this up. I have to heal this. I have to get through this. Eventually, the people of Israel do begin to understand that they're no longer slaves, and so I've been going to a little bit of a deeper dive with that, where, what's the saying? Like, they were taken out of Egypt, but Egypt couldn't be taken out of them. But then when the Babylonians came and enslaved them, that's kind of when they began to truly get the Egypt out of them internally and understand. So there was like two revelational moments for them. But that's another thing. But, there just comes a moment in your life where you got to evaluate, what are the old habits? What are the things that are pulling me in that same pattern that I have to break down, evaluate, and allow Jesus to really solidify that identity? And I think about renewing the mind when Paul talks about that on a daily basis, because, again, I think our flesh always wants to lead in the direction of our desires, our evil intentions, sinful patterns. And so I think of that, renewing the mind every day. What are you doing to connect yourself back to the source that keeps you in that mindset of identity, that I am a son and daughter of a king? And that's, he brings that verbiage.
Yeah. It's the mentality of understanding that you have freedom.
Yeah.
But you have to claim it.
Yeah.
And you have to live it.
That's true.
And so that's why it's like you can no longer be slave to sin or to shame or to, your past, but you're not fighting for that freedom. You have that freedom, but you have to claim it.
Yes.
And so it's like slavery to sin, like I said yesterday, it's where you don't have to be a slave to the flesh. Flesh doesn't have to win, but it can if you let it. It can. You can slip right back into it if you let it, but you don't have to let it anymore. So it's still a willpower and a mentality of, I'm not fighting for victory. I'm fighting from victory. I have won. I'm going to walk like it. I'm going to live like it. I'm going to talk like it, and that's the important thing, that it's still, Paul says, a renewing of your mind, but he says in Corinthians, the old is gone. Behold, all things new. You can still walk over and pick up the old, but just why are you picking up the old? And that's Paul's frustration over and over again, is why are you doing this? Same thing so much with children of Israel. They get out, they're free, right? Then they start complaining, and it's like, well, I want to be a slave again. And they're like, no, how do you want to be a slave again? And then it's like, God comes down, he shows them, boom. Oh, they're good again.
That's right. Yeah.
Next hardship comes up, boom. I want to be a slave. It's like, what are we doing? For us looking at it, it's like, what are we doing? Yeah. Yeah. But if we're not careful, that's us.
That's us.
And so to me, that's it. It's the timing of God. It's the fullness of God, and it's the understanding that this is the right time at the right place for Paul to deliver this message.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's the right time, the right place for us even now to receive that message. It's not written to us, but it's written for us, we say often. And so this is for us. Yeah. And that's what I felt yesterday, was like, this is for someone out there. We had a great response, So my thing, just for yesterday, my goal, and I preached this message probably 10 times before 8:15 yesterday. And, we talked, I think Friday or Saturday, and I said, man, it's lending itself for the salvation appeal. And, for us that grew up in church, we understand what that means, right? And so if you're new to church, if you've not been to church often, you may not understand what a salvation appeal is, but it's where you preach a message and there has to be a moment of response. You can't preach a message, bring somebody all the way up and then be like, grace and peace.
Yeah.
It's like, this is so not all messages are like that. But the more that I preached it, the more I thought, this is a message where it's like, we've got to give them an opportunity to respond. Because that to me that's where it led. And so the line that I came up with throughout the week, and it just resonated with me, it still does, is you're either all in, you're not in, but you're not barely in. There's no such thing as barely in. So either you're all in with the gospel, and that's what Paul's saying. Listen, it's either you're all in, grace and faith, all in, or you're not in, meaning you just you're not doing it. But there's no such thing as being barely in. And I feel like there's a lot of people that, and I could literally, in my head right now, I'm thinking of people I know, people that we know together, and you have conversation, and they feel like they're just scraping by. I'm just doing enough to get in, to the family of God. Yeah. Yesterday, it just hit me with what was going on, that it's like, there's no such thing as barely in. You know what I'm saying? It's like your son. He's not kind of your son. Yeah. No, he's my son. Yeah. My son is my son. Yeah. It's not maybe. Now, sometimes, it's like, I want my son to be your son, you know what I mean? But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, he's mine. Yeah. Yeah. It's not like, well, maybe one day. It's not like that. And that's why, I feel like in the family of God, you either got it or you don't. And I feel like a lot of people, if they're honest, it should be freeing. Yes. To think, I can't do this, and that's why Paul, the heir, you're the heir. When you're an heir to the kingdom, all the promises of God are yours. Yeah. So claim them every day. Yeah. But you got to be in the family of God. You can't claim a promise of God if you're not in the family of God.
Yeah, so good.
You're not an heir to a promise of a family you're not.
Yeah.
You know, and that to me, that's where it's like yesterday we had numerous people that they went all in.
Yes.
You know, and I talked to people and they said, you know, I thought if I did enough, or I thought if I believed and then did. And today I just realized that's not what it is. And so it was great.
Yeah, we'll have that number on the description below for you guys on this episode. If you sense that you want to make that move and that step to follow Jesus completely and to say, hey, this is where I want to lead my life into. We want to provide that for you. We'll have the number. I don't know if you have that even.
I do. I can pull it up.
Okay.
So I would say this too, and it's not necessarily just salvation, but some of you need a spiritual conversation with somebody that knows, you know. And I was talking to my friend the other day, yesterday, and Jason was telling me, he's like, man, I'm in this group and I'm talking, and people are now asking me spiritual questions, and they've never asked me spiritual questions before.
Wow.
And I was telling him, I said, bro, you've earned the right to be heard, you know? And so there's somebody out there that you should text this number. And I got the number. It's 833-593-0340. Johnny said he'll put it in the description, but it's 833-593-0340. Text the word salvation. What that's going to do is that's going to send me, PJ, an email. Talked to PJ this morning. We're gonna get all those numbers that come through, and we're just gonna pick up the phone and call you.
That's awesome.
And we're gonna see, was it salvation? Did you need to go all in yesterday? Was it not salvation? Was it another spiritual decision? Was it, you know, rededication, meaning I'm all in, but I'm not living like I'm all in.
Yeah.
So, but if you want to have a spiritual conversation with you know, a pastor, you know, we're gonna make that available for you.
Man.
So yeah, so it'll be good.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. It seemed like you were wrestling a little bit with that and what to do.
Yeah.
Which is not that it's out of your norm, but you tend to you want to hit the point and that's it, you know? And so when you're kind of trying to find a closure, and I'm hearing that, it's like, yeah, I think the Spirit is really leading them to do something powerful there. So that was great, man. We'll provide that in the description below for you guys. And again, shoot it over. We'll have that available for a while. And that way our pastors can reach out to you, Chad and PJ, and be a blessing to your life, man. But dude, again, it can't get any simpler. I love, you know, just to kind of bring it up, but you talked about the story of your sister, of how she would get on you.
Oh yeah.
Because she said you may have been from them, but they wanted me.
They chose her. That's what she would walk around the house and say, "Don't you ever forget this." She actually said it to me.
Great story.
Yes, we talk. My sisters and I are really close, so they don't live here. They live in Virginia. Actually, my older sister Angel, who was adopted, her husband's actually a pastor as well, and so kind of cool to have a brother-in-law that's a pastor. But yeah, she said it the other day. You know, I can't remember if she said it or texted it.
That's so cool.
So, but yeah, she's always walking around the house say, they chose me.
Yeah.
They chose me.
Yeah.
And they said they were stuck with y'all.
They chose me. But I mean, that's literally what, that's a visual aid of what Paul is talking about. We were orphans, right? We needed someone to come and claim us. And that is what God did. He said, I'm choosing you. I'm giving you my name. I'm giving you everything that's mine. And it's yours, you know, and you're no longer going to just survive. You're going to thrive in this inheritance. And so that was great, man. It was good. We had a really good time yesterday.
Yeah, it's good when you can, you know, I usually share more stories when I teach. So yesterday was just, there's a lot of repetition for me.
Yeah.
But it was good. But yeah, the story I was telling my wife, you know, about the illustration with Angel. And, you know, it's just funny because I know a lot of people that have been adopted. And some of them, you know, they feel less than. And they feel like, you know, they just feel less than. And my sister never felt less than. She always felt better than because of her adoption. And it's just, that's just the story of
Wow.
being a child of God.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's like, where I've been adopted. I don't deserve this, but look at me. I am adopted into the family of God.
That's awesome.
I have full rights. And so my sister, she was a great model, great role model for me.
Claiming it.
Yeah, she was not good child. She was not a good child. I could tell many stories.
Opposite of angel?
She was not an angel, oftentimes, but she's definitely now the sweetest. She's the sweetest. So,
it's been a blessing to meet both of them.
Yeah.
So they definitely have a different take of life and
there's different take of me.
Which is cool. Yeah, man. Yeah. Thank you for spending a few minutes, man.
Yeah, man.
I haven't chatted with you on the pod since season 1, so that's been crazy.
What season are you in?
3. It feels like 52, but
I don't know, man.
What season are you in? Oh man,
I'm not sure.
Give some love to Chad, man. We are so thankful to have him on. And yeah, man, this was a short and sweet one. And honestly, it is what it is. As you read chapter 4 of Galatians, it's straight to the point. Paul is he's not dressing it up in any way. He's getting right to the point to the Galatians that this is the inheritance that you are. You are a son. You are a daughter of a king. And so I encourage you guys, read Galatians 4 this week. Let it just sit with you. I encourage you also go to genesischurch.com, genesischurchorlando.com/sermons. Check out yesterday's sermon. It's going to tie in very well to what we're talking about here today. And we're going to do our best to provide you as well a PDF guide for you guys to have with your small group, for yourself, for your family, to just go through some questions and just really take it in a little bit more deeper for yourself. But we're excited. We will be back next week with Galatians chapter 5. And listen, Paul is just kind of going in this letter as the Spirit is leading him. And so we're excited to continue to see where he continues to really pound his fist to the Galatians, letting them know, his heart and his passion and his desire for them. So once again, bro, thank you for spending some time with us, man.
Well, listen, either you're all in, you're not in, but there's no such thing as barely in. So if you're asking yourself the question, am I all in? It is better to be safe and secure.
Yeah.
And it's so simple. It's so simple to receive that grace and faith. And so text the number, text salvation. I'll leave with this and then we'll be done. But yesterday in my salvation appeal, I said there's 2 prayers you pray. If you do not know if you're all in, there's 2 prayers. The first one is a prayer of acknowledgement, where you acknowledge that you are a sinner in need of a Savior. You acknowledge that Jesus is who he says he is, and he did what he said he did. He came to this earth, lived a perfect life, died on a cross, and defeated death by defeating the grave. And because of that, we can have eternal life with him. That's the acknowledgement, right? I am a sinner in need of a Savior. He is my Savior. And then it's the prayer of acceptance, where you pray and you say, God, I accept it. I don't just know about it, I accept it. I think I used this illustration in a couple services. I don't know if I did it in the third, but I tell students, I was a youth pastor for years, talked to thousands of kids all over the world. And I told them that more people die and go to hell every year because of 16 inches. And it's the average distance between your head and your heart. And it's knowing all of it. So you can acknowledge all of it, but at some point you have to accept it personally. And that's where the second prayer of acceptance, where I accept you into my life. I accept this grace. I accept this through faith. And when you do that, you don't need a pastor to lead you through that.
Wow.
You just need to pray that. And so if that's something that you've never done, I encourage you, those two prayers, acknowledgement and acceptance, and then text salvation to that number and let us know.
Let's go, man. That's good, man. Good close out there, man. Awesome. It's been a blessing, guys. Listen, you know where to follow us on all social media platforms. We're available there, but also check out YouTube, youtube.com/@PostSundayPodcast. Follow us there. We put a lot of work and time into that. And we're also on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. Gosh, you name it, we're there. So keep following us on social. Share with your community of people as we want to continue to provide Scripture and the Word of God to as many people as possible. So we love you guys. Until next week, episode 30, we will see you then. Grace and peace.